I just need to make sure that I'm live everywhere where I need to be live and that everything is working fine. So those who are in the comments, please just let me know if you can hear me. I'm flying a little bit blind sound-wise. So just let me know if you can hear me and let me know that we can continue. Let me just do that. Okay. Let's see. I believe that we are in the correct space and everything is working fine. Let's talk some football. Comments, please just let me know, guys. The people are joining, just let me know if you can hear me. Today we had a very nice conversation. If you want to hear what we spoke about in the afternoon, we spoke about the Orlando Pirates, and it became about mandates and goals of coaches, and if South African coaches and teams are actually keen on winning these things. So if you want to hear it, head on over there. I'm going to start the show. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host. I do the show every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. And then Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. we have a night shift. Then on Fridays, it's members only. It's going to be members who can jump in and control the show. It's more of a discussion. So if you want to be one of the members, just know that you have to be to subscribe to me on YouTube and join one of the memberships. Cheapest membership is 20 Rand, 20 Rand, 60 Rand, 160 Rand. Really goes a long way to supporting all of this. Thank you guys so much for that. If you're listening to the show for the first time, or you're hearing it on YouTube and Facebook, or you've seen it on YouTube and Facebook and you're hearing voices and you want to know how to join the show, just know that you can join the show by joining me live on TikTok, following the account on TikTok while I'm live. And then at some point, I'll tell people that I'm opening up the lines. And at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to click on a bounty guest button and join and add your show. You'll add your voice to the show live. So we spoke about Pirates and AmaZulu and how they played yesterday, earlier in the afternoon. Tonight we're going to speak about Sundowns, who played their second game of the African Football League. If you don't know what the African Football League is, I have a video up right now on my TikTok that explains it all. But they played against Petro De Luanda in the second leg of their game, 2-0 up. Away in Angola, they beat them 2-0, and then they came back to a 0-0 draw. Mtobimvala getting an early yellow card in the second minute, but they were able to see it through. Zalama, if you subscribe on TikTok, same shandis. On Fridays, it will be subscriber shows on TikTok as well. And you guys will be in charge of the show, essentially. So you can subscribe on TikTok, but I prefer that you subscribe on YouTube. Okay, so we've got a press conference, as you know, with the big ones. We like to hear from the coaches, hear what they had to say, and how they saw the game. So here is Coach Rhulani talking about the second leg they played versus Petro.
League. We are joined by the head coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, Coach Rhulani Mokwena. Coach, welcome.
Thank you, team.
A huge congratulations, Coach. You are through to the next round of the competition. A 0-0 stalemate. What would you make of today's performance from the team?
Yeah, let me start by greeting members of the media.
Sorry, Coach, if I could just ask you to please speak closer to the bigger mic. That one, yes. Yes.
This one?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not speak.
No, Zach.
Not speak. Excuse me, sorry.
No, let me start off by greeting members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Yeah, it was a difficult game. Of course, against a very good opponent. I've already mentioned how good they are. They have a team that is very capable of building from the back. 3 center backs, Miguel, Kinito, Pinto, even very, very, very aggressive with the ball and very difficult to take the ball away from them. And then, of course, when you have a player like Suarez also in the midfield who sits as a pivot and connects the lines, it becomes very, very difficult. Megu was missing, but they've got so much quality with even Carlinhos playing, and he played exceptionally well. But okay, we did very well. I'm very proud of the effort of the players to get a red card in the first minute. Complicated the game a little bit, but of course the boys showed good character and good spirit, sense of brotherhood, and I want to congratulate them and just appreciate them for their efforts and for putting the team into the semi-finals of the competition.
Thank you, Coach. Members of the media, it's an opportunity to ask questions. If you could identify yourself as well as your publication. I see your hand is up, sir, and here in the front.
But why we always start with you?
Coach?
You are lucky these days.
So must I leave?
We start with you all the time. It's beautiful.
No, thank you.
The tone.
No, he sets the tone. He puts a lot of you under pressure.
No, Coach. That's fine. Coach, good evening and congratulations, Coach, on progressing to the semi-finals.
Thank you, Karo.
You get a red card in the second minute, and the Mokwena, immediately after that, when you watch him play, you don't see him. But when you watch the game, you see him.
Yeah.
And another factor that I also have to mention is about, when certain players of Sundowns, players shrink under pressure and others dance under it. Is that where you are now in regards to, the big match temperament games of Sundowns? And how do you get there?
If I answer your question, I dilute it. You put it so eloquently. They dance under pressure. That's why I say incredible compliments to them. I've said this ever since I've been here with this group. I've told you guys how honest they are, how good they are as human beings. I must say to you, when you hear Mokwena speak about the environment, the culture that we try to create here. If as a leader you miss the opportunity to try to influence society in a certain way, and life happens. You see it even today. You go through hardships. There's adversities in each and every single one of our lives. There's difficult moments, there's situations that are unfair, but life is unfair. But the one thing that maybe 1%, which is the most successful people in life, the one thing that they have is that they show up all the time, even in difficult moments and in adversity, and this is what this group has. They have the character, they have the fortitude to fight and to persevere in difficult moments and to stay together. And you can only, as a coach, not only just appreciate, but of course admire, because it teaches me about life myself. It's football. You will lose some games, you will win some games, you will miss some chances like we do, and so forth. But what's important is how do you persevere, how do you develop your character, what type of human being do you show, because in those moments that's exactly the type of test that you have to pass. And they teach me about how to go through difficult moments by how they go through difficult moments on the pitch. And so when I face difficult moments in my life, I suffer. But I suffer and I still show up, because they suffer and they still show up. And this is the beauty of being around this incredible group of players.
Thanks,
Okay. I'm gonna stop it there for the sake of time. If you want to watch the full video, it is available on Masandawana fan blog. Thank you so much for providing us with these visuals, man. The people who go to these press conferences, watch them, they really do deserve their flowers. So let's get straight into it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the match. I saw some of the highlights, but I didn't watch the match. All I know is that Sundowns is through. Sundowns is 34 million rand richer. They're that much closer to buying another Allende. They're that much closer to getting more players and buying them with this money that comes from the AFL. But it is well deserved. Petro De Luanda. Petro De Luanda is the Angolan guys. Big team, always in the Champions League. So Sundowns is doing the business. That's all you can say. They have gone through to the second round. They have played very well. 2-0 away, 0-0 here. Saw the game through. They are through. This is Sundowns' test. This is not going to be the league. It's not going to be Carling Knockouts. It's not going to be Nedbank Cup. It's not going to be MTN 8. This is where they test themselves, and it's in African games. So to see them doing very well, kudos to Sundowns for doing so well in that tournament. But yeah, let me open up and allow the Sundowns fans to come and tell me about what happened. These games clash. Usually there's something happening. There's something happening during that time. I don't know what it is. I'm kidding. The PSL and those matches really do clash. But I'm going to open it up and then you guys can jump in and we can have a conversation about the Sundowns. Hopefully without shots, Kubo. Hopefully without shots.
Hey, how's it?
How are you, my brother?
Oh, still. I mean, like 34 million email about the potling, eh? On Twitter again.
Hey, gumnandi Sundowns, gumnandi
No,
Sundowns.
all around. Yeah, all
So
around.
tell me, what are your general thoughts about this second leg, and maybe your general thoughts overall with this game, with this 2 legs that you guys played?
Nantemborang, ne? Kore SABC pelai complain na ye TV rights ya palwa e tlohele because of ne for the first half. And some of the other Sundowns fans, we couldn't watch the game. YouTube, FIFA website,
Yeah.
SABC was playing the highlights of cricket, and they were like saying they're gonna broadcast. So you
Yeah.
only got to see the second half of the game. So my biggest issue that I had got this game was defense at Sundowns criticizing Mvala, our soldier Batong, Mr. Put your body on the line for us. That guy, he took one for the team. Yes, yeah, but like a hash a national pattern of giving the own goal, little red card in crucial games. Mara, if he didn't commit that professional foul, in a different match, all in all. Nelly was the last man, hence why he got it. Nessie hash tackle on the player, wa Petro Atuate. So yeah, I'm forgiving. If you had seen the game and if you had watched the replays and if you had understood what nights are in, you would actually give him his flowers instead of criticizing him. It sucked playing over 90 minutes with a man down. No matter, guys, we are a well coached side. Rhulani knows his stuff. Imagine Buzur getting to a wafa ya nede ya EFL. And still Pedro didn't dominate. Our team wasn't panicking. We still played we kept our shape and we still played the way Sundowns played. I was happy overall. Yeah, that's all I can say for now.
Okay. Agent, I don't know if it's AFL or if it's PSL, but this thing of clashing games. But yeah, Asiko Lapa, how are you, my brother?
No, I'm good, man. Ella in the morning I saw you talking about small teams. I was like,
Born again.
No,
How
but
did you
I
see the
think
game and the tie overall?
over 2 legs, top quality, top quality stuff. I know a certain team from a certain village beat Petro, but for us, Petro is a hood team, you know. They always give
But
us
we've beaten
problems.
them all. Petro, White Dad.
That's that's what I'm
We,
saying. A certain
I
village
mean,
team can beat them, you know. Um, oh yeah, can I answer to my brother? All the Super League games are on SABC Plus. When you go online, just search SABC online, and then you see SABC Plus. You log in, and you see all the games, all
yeah,
90.
abang pateli, abang pateli. What's so hell? Abang
No,
pateli, please,
but but
abang
but
pateli.
I think you know the reason why we sometimes criticize Umvala is because of his decision making. Sometimes, um, before he makes the fatal mistake, he's always making a mistake before the mistake.
Mm, mm,
You look at it. I think he allowed the ball to jump him, if my memory serves me well. So he
mm,
committed a mistake before he took one for the team.
mm, mm,
And that is the frustration with Umvala. That
mm,
come Sunday when playing against Al Ali, we will miss Umvala.
mm,
But
mm.
Umvala, just like Kaizer Chiefs Peterson, he's a 9 out of 10 player with a mistake in him.
Yeah,
You
leave
know,
us out of it.
Aikicho, is it bad luck? Does he need to be cleansed, or does that hair sometimes when it doesn't have a bandage, something gets loosened somewhere? But
Uh,
there's something about him, about Umval, and that's the worrying part about him.
mm, mm,
But
mm,
I think this is what sometimes you talk about, saying you must have a style of play,
mm,
and you
mm,
stick to it. We didn't, for the first half, we didn't seem like we're one man short. In fact, Ozwani missed clear cut chances, and even Sereno, we could have went 1-0 or 2-0 up,
mm,
and
mm.
Ozwani needs to improve when he's finishing now. I think now it's becoming a concern,
He's a
Uh,
midfielder. You guys are playing him off,
mm,
man. He's a midfielder.
yes, but right now we don't have Onasir, we don't have Shadulile, we don't have Ribeiro,
Mm,
so
mm,
he has to, and he's the talisman, which means most of the chances will fall onto him. Even
mm,
in AFCON, Bafana would be relying on him to chip in with
mm,
those goals. And when he gets 1v1s, he should bear those goals, because even though the goal was, I mean, the play was flagged offside, I think on the review with VAR, it could have been an onside decision for him. But otherwise, I just want to give out heads up to Rhulani. He got his tactic spot on, especially Maseko. When I saw the first lineup, I was like, Maseko, man. But then I was like, you know what? Makes sense, because Maseko
Africa.
they don't know Maseko.
Mm,
And once we went one man down,
mm,
it's like we had three players combined into one player. Umaseko
mm,
was running up and down. Ukotie was shifting between a defense and midfield. Um, and Mokwena. So they kind of covered for that shortfall. Yeah, I think that was my
mm.
overall game.
Okay.
Thoughts of the game.
Let me go to Prachop. Prachop, how are you?
Hey, so some food.
Tell me, did you watch this game?
I was at the stadium, my brother.
You're at the
Big
stadium.
game, big
No,
game.
parent to say hello, Luena.
Yeah, of course. Only my brother. Why is there no Sundowns to ka game it's Africa, my brother? Ke more one MP. I think this is the level that we think we belong.
Mm,
I'm not just done playing the PSL and all that, but this is the level where we think that no. I mean, if this is in the winner league, which is that one is in the bag. Rawinale AFL.
mm.
I mean, sharp.
75 billion.
Yeah, doesn't mean it's serious, my brother. Flop owner but the game after the FIFA break, but if you look at this thing, it's all about jealousy, because of you guys in the media were busy complaining, no, how was the criteria, how did they choose
I'm not
us,
in the
and
media,
whatnot, and all
Prachop.
that. I'm talking about all the people. So the noisy ones. So the way, if you look at it, my brother, I mean, these games, there's no one who can play these games like we do. Even the African people, the African guys, they only know us because of they know that mona modu understand. So game one para imvala lena mon 2 minutes game lo na fast ana teiti mo thome para tlo le borofo me para tla le bo ya
Okay.
Mara mola ke mo playing o tsona because motho a tsa fitile nna ile go ra o tsona mara ka di game tse be ana jo o ka se ne go dira mistake o tsona le a re le bia o bona
I know. Ke atla ke tlo gutla Prajob ke tlo gutla e re ke go Xolani ke mo kenye le yena. Xolani, welcome to the show. How are you?
Happy evening to the panel, number one thinkers.
Tell me, we bukele le game.
Angibuka yonke bese.
We won njani le game?
Bese. Izolo it shows ukuthi uRhulani uyasazi isitori sakhe bese. It showed ukuthi uRhulani uyasazi isitori sakhe. After 2 minutes uMvale ethole i-red card. Amanye ama-team abengenza substitutes lapho after losing i-center back yakho. Yabo. But he continued with the same lineup akashintshanga lutho. It's just that uRiver vele uyi-center back wahlehla and then saba lama center backs awu-2 and it was a very 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 tactical game. And into engiyibonile ngama-players Sundowns and as a team yonke they are very well coached but they are very well drilled. Angazi ngibone bese team edlala kanje ibhola like seriously first. And futhi they didn't change even style of play up. They continued to start from the back. Absorb the pressure. Usangizwa Mr. Uthi?
Yeah, no, ngiyakuzwa Bram, ngiyakuzwa kumamele.
Hey. Ngicabanga ngikhawathi
Iyakhatha. Okay, uskawara.
Yeah, it's
yeah, qhubeka and then sizabona.
No, so right. Okay, so right. Yeah, and this iloko nje bese engikubonile izolo ukuthi we are so stubborn about style of play sethu. We keep on playing asishintshe even though sishorta siyaqhubeka edlala ibhola esilithanda and izolo kuvelile ukuthi uWilliams simthenga ngempela because ngicabanga ukuthi uyena kade yenza ukuthi singabonakali siyashort because he will draw ama attackers a team towards him and then play the ball kumkwena siqale moves siye phambili. Yeah.
Okay. Before I go back to Kumo, shout out to Nzalama. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining a membership on YouTube. Thank you so much, my brother, for the support on YouTube. Yeah, guys, it's the best way to support. There's 20 rand tier, 60 rand tier, 150 rand tier every month. Thank you guys so much for that, Unzalama. Let me go back to Kumo. Does this vindicate to Rhulani? A lot of questions have been asked of Rhulani this year. Everybody has been saying that Sundowns is beatable, Sundowns is this. They may have bumped a little bit in some of the cup competitions. Does this show good time, man? You guys are on another level. These wins, the way as easily as you did it versus the Petro.
It wasn't easy, first of all. Well, but I've been Rhulani. Yeah. But I've always been Rhulani's biggest fan, you know. Now you don't have to ask me twice or if I believe in Rhulani. I believe, like I'm the highest ranking cult member, Rhulani. This guy, man, he's a phenomenal coach, and it's so sad for people blew him off because of his age and maybe that 2-game stint he had at Pirates and Chiba. It wasn't a way to actually I'm judging based on what is achieved. Yes, Sundowns has the resources to back up a good coach. So you might say if he doesn't have those resources, he's not a good coach. But the type of play and the type of players that he's bringing in are really making a difference. Like I said, like our Sundowns, the team that we see that he has compiled by himself. And by the way, he's celebrating, or he's going to be celebrating 50 games in charge. With a 73% win rate. That's the highest of any Sundowns coach, including Bito. So this guy, he's forever proving himself got the records, even though the records that is breaking assets are the calling cup those cups we I agree, but Joe, this guy, I love him. Like, he knows how to win dirty. He doesn't panic. He knows how to set his team. Okay, fine. We 2 men down. We 1 man down. No, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep our composure and no worries. He has that confidence instilled in his players. And even though like some of his signings like Bomaseko and the 19-year-old I forgot his name, like he's young. You guys, some of the people don't like them, but no, why don't you give the older seniors penalties? He's young, or why is he putting this guy? He's 16. He doesn't care. Hence why Nogoba Mutisabare something about and something about tactics, and his answer was like, give me your tactics, let's apply them. But because it's one thing to run your mouth, Mara. Let's see if your tactics are gonna work. Look at my answer. And once he pointed out the hypocrisy of us, the media, the fans, and the journalists theory. It's easy to say, Joe, so no Gary, and I'm if Serena perform against Hamabena, why are you guys complaining? This guy, man, he's a legend in the making. I hope he gets all the support. I know he's gonna get them from the Motsepe family. Just fail, I know Europe. Like, I wonder if there was ever a coach who's gonna break into Europe. I think Rhulani is that guy.
But then I wanna ask you about those comments. Then I was gonna ask you next round, but it's fine, you brought it up. What do you think about those comments? Is it fair to say that? Is it fair for him to say, hey, Lona, let's be next, basically?
Why not? I give you guys a freedom over him. You guys can go hard. And he actually he answered in a cheeky manner. He remained borderline professional. It's fair. I agree. You keep saying you keep questioning his credentials, his thinking capabilities, and his rationale. Basically, when I say you, I'm not saying you in particular.
Yeah, but please make sure, please, Manai, but
Mara George, you are the type of guy when you are around with your friends around the bar, you don't maintain this professional persona. We know you are a Chiefs fan, so obviously you're gonna bash Sundowns. So do you think we don't know?
How many times have I given him credit, Mara?
I get you have to be neutral on this page or on your platform, say, as a professional person. Mara, let me make sure I give you net base.
I've got my own team to roar. Okay, no, I'm gonna come back.
Okay, sharp.
I'm gonna come back. Agent 007, has Rhulani vindicated himself with these performances that he still needs to do more? Number one, and then number two, what do you think of this statement, Ogutidina? You guys don't know tactics. Yeah, you guys don't know tactics. You don't have the analysts. You don't have everything. You don't know tactics. How do you feel about that statement that he made?
If I speak my mind, I would be called a double agent. But that's fine.
You're already there. You're already in the group. Just carry on.
I want to go to Loftus on Sunday, please. I'll be with Abuti Jobi there, so. But I think before I go to your question, I think maybe Jobi would correct me because he was in the stadium. But I think I liked the way they set up, the choir and with the master drum were on the other side than the other side which they're in, and the side which the TV sees, and I think sometimes I wondered why they don't do that, because sometimes the stadium on TV looks empty while all 57 of us came to the stadium, you know. So I think it was a nice touch from them, and I hope they maintain it even for the league games.
I'm gonna ask you guys about fans. That's where I'm going next. But first,
okay. But first, Rhulani, no. If Rhulani was Jesus, right? If Rhulani was Jesus, then Kumo is one of the disciples, you know. Unfortunately for some of us, we aren't that. I think it goes back to the question that I once raised, that we shouldn't necessarily be, we are fans, we shouldn't be disciples, you know. We must be allowed in our own limited knowledge to criticize Rhulani, you know. The same way everyone saw, I hope Kumo was there and Joby was there. The game against Wydad, the whole stadium, the whole stadium was shouting at analysts, at Rhulani, that come on, man, bring in a centre back, you know. We have to defend now, and he was bringing in attackers, you know, and we conceded from that. That was a mistake that we have to criticize Rhulani on, you know. The M10 final, like I said, I'll forever hold Rhulani accountable for that, you know. The subs that he made won't go into penalties, you know. But when he does good, we must also praise him, you know, in terms of the Callum Blake Label Cup, the way he motivated the team to come back from 2-0 down at halftime. I liked that, you know, and I applaud him for that. And he messed it up again by bringing in Ono Nyangu, by taking out a penalty take. That we must criticize him. So that it shouldn't be a binary thing that either you like Rhulani or you don't like Rhulani. When you love someone, you criticize him. Even I like you, but I'll criticize you and say, "Hi, man, when I can you know," and you'd correct yourself, you know. That's what is called love, you know. Love shouldn't mean blind faith, you know. But has he vindicated himself? I think he has redeemed himself, not so much as vindicated himself. You know, he has redeemed himself.
But was there something to redeem? I mean, so the two cups, fine, you could say something, but like Kumo said, highest win percentage, he won the league, AFL is doing well. Is there something to redeem?
The problem is there is high standards and there is Sundown standards, and there is Chiefs and others standards. I'm sorry about that. With Sundowns, being good is not enough, you know. You must be excellent. That's the standard that we have set as Sundowns as a brand, you know. Let's take a step backwards. Oman Ngoba was demoted for losing one cup and drawing 5 games. Huh? Not losing, drawing 5 games and losing one cup. And he was demoted because that is the standard that we have set, you know. And I think Rhulani sometimes is his own worst enemy, you know. Like I said, he's like Mr. Pound for Pound. His media utterances, like we are seeing, sometimes they don't help him. He puts himself under unnecessary pressure, unnecessary hate, unnecessary everything. And also sometimes his tactics, you know. I did agree with that. We need to find a different way of winning, you know. That I agreed much with it. But there are games to do that, you know. I didn't think playing against Chiefs and Pirates, especially in Cubs, that was the way to try the new chameleon, you know. In league, you can try that. I'm sure everyone will support you, you know. Sometimes with his tactics, with his over-analyzing and overdoing stuff, he puts himself under unnecessary pressure. You know, that's my flop with Rhulani, you know. Great coach, great everything, but he overcomplicates things for himself. That's the problem with Rhulani, yeah.
Okay, let me bring you to Prachop. Prachop, has Rhulani now, is he showing that he's done enough to all these questions people ask of him, man? And then has he gotten over those questions? Then secondly, that comment he made, you guys don't know tactics. How do you feel about that comment?
Yeah, no, the comment I was saying, no, that was just pushing you guys back because of in the media busy more question and no Rhulani Horawin. But I mean that unalaba twalo varne guy coach Allen na Sundowns. What's what? Because of the players that didn't go Sundowns. I mean go Sundowns we know. Or we ruwa mo Spanish ba utsisa ta. o nyaka man wa understand and motho batho ba tlisang ba nyaka di result ba bangwe ba rekela di player then ba fetsa fela ba hira di coach then ba fetsa fela ba nyokoro that thing ela kara bona ba berekile ba nyaka le rena ka mkho ba irang ba berekile ai khona membra Rhulani membra is a good coach ke ngwana go Sundowns he's a master technician why he tsuru santse a ire eng the standard is very high go down to membra no I wanna coach you I wanna fitla mo le bano hira nje the standard is that Rhulani mo Sundowns so the goal is just to win the Champions League that is the benchmark Aona ya ga mtlasa eo league it's an obvious thing I mean lebella Alakli lebella Wydad Casablanca lebella Esperance how can we win Champions League my brother you are being fired
same time
regardless of who win the league or win the cup once what I'm going to coach with that last season it's all salava mukova because of you know that thing go to Tunisia is the same thing this big teams for Africa the standard is da so lerena remo standard say Rhulani knows it very well Horma Sundowns banyaka Champions League or AFL o kana di loser tsela on tshwara tsona di khalintse tsa teng tse di MTN 8 di watwa di Nedbank ga di tshwenyetse the ticket ya Champions League ke league so sanze re win a league yona ona o jika then after fela re khona Champions League ro challenge and go Champions League sanze re challenge lo wina not re ile Champions League no sanze re dlala le tsona di alaglitse re di itjente that is the standard se re le mmoso le ska go risa go tlase mo lo re banong to kra banong go butsisiwa dilo tse di seng teng ra itse re na mo Sundowns re crocodile re na iko kae di lisa nyana tse a di emenya
okay Lizard on Noha. I can see me, but it's fine. Kadala. Let me go into Tolani. Has Rhulani done enough to get over the questions of his coaching capabilities? Kabani, every day you see when Rhulani's been spoken about, it feels as though people don't believe that he's there, don't want him to be there. Is he answering those questions? And then also, what do you make of his comments? You guys don't know my tactics. Anazi nina.
18 ukuthi thina esazini yazi lutho ni and football is not a talk show
Yeah.
no but I think ngokwami first that guy sometimes ukabe too honest yabo kunezinye izinto ongazisho ku media kunezinye izinto ongayigodla to yourself yabo but bese ngakusho uRhulani he's a student of the game bese yabo akekho perfect and naye ukasho sometimes bese engithanda ngayo uya-admit amenze iphutha those uke sesikhostekile kodwa bese in terms of asking questions of answering questions stats bese ama-stats ayayikhulumela bese yabo like since eqalile unama-losses amathathu I'm not sure about ama-draws kodwa ama-win amaningi of which lawo ma-losses amathathu iyodwa ayiluza on the 90 minutes lawa amabili came from ama-cup games of which kuba u-0-0 and then kwaya penalties yabo so for uRhulani mina I still believe in him yabo and I understand this why nama-questions about his coaching abilities and mamlalelisa kuma-press conference phezulu umjito walazi ibhola and he always talks football yabo ufana noMteki it's just that uMteki akubonakala kwi-field yabo bengabonakala ama-results kwi-field uMteki but yena besimolela kuma-press conference akhe hayi ubekhuluma i-football naye bese understand futhi uyabona so khona nala ayichaza khona like i-tactic yakhe or formation yakhe i-chameleon football washo wathi bese i-goal yakhe ukuthi every player should be able to adapt the field yabo if kuyenzeka umdawu epusha up toward i-front line uma esekuleyo position he must like adapt kuleyo position esekuyona and react as i-attacking player egroundini. Lo omkhavelile kwi-right back naye he should like behave like umdawu will behave. Yabo.
Okay.
So like i-football sense yakhe bese iyayenza i-sense kuthina. Kumina-ke sengikhulumela mina personally.
Okay.
Yabo.
Okay. I know.
Kumnandi nokwalalela nje ama-press conferences because amanye are so educational. Yabo.
Yeah.
Kodwa-ke mfethu ngeke sikuvuma ukuthi ngeke sikuphiwe ukuthi akanawo amaphutha. Yabo. Though amaphutha akhe sometimes abuye as-cost ama-games like cups but thina siyawadinga ama-cups as ama-fans. Ngisho ngathiwa i-cup is less than i-AFA. Yabo. But thina siyakwazi ukuthi sithole ama-breaking rights and stuff. Always ukuthi sikwazi ukuthola ama-breaking rights. Okwemali okwase-office lokho. Ngiyangithola. Mina nje I won't lie. I won't lie. Ngibe disappointed ukuthi siphume kwi-black label.
Yeah.
Naku-M10.8 because thina for my fans sithanda ama-cups and ama-cups it comes with ama-breaking rights.
Okay, no, do you know what's nice? I'm letting Sundowns fans start. I want you guys to start. Then and then hear what they have to say. Come on, very quickly. I'm gonna ask you two questions. Now, what do you think of Mokwena's criticism of Sundowns fans? He said before that you guys had let them down, go the Champions League and some of the games, and he wants more from you guys. What do you make of that, number one? And number two, why don't you guys rate Umangoba, man? I never hear Sundowns fans speaking glowingly of Umangoba.
I don't think Mokwena was criticizing us. It was more like he was saying, I wish, you know? No difference between that. He wishes that we were more vocal during the game so they can feel our love by distance. That we were more vocal. Like whenever they go abroad, especially in North African countries, they can't hear themselves talk on the ground because the fans are too vocal. Which is a fair point to say. As fans, I mean, like, we are giving free tickets. We are giving free everything. So now it's our duty to love Sundowns, myself included, to go there, go Loftas and scream my lungs out. So it's a fair statement. I can't criticize him for saying such things.
How do you guys fix it? Whoa, how do you guys fix that thing? Yeah, support, man.
No, let me tell you, honestly, I wanted to go, but the problem could get if you know about Mopan R80, there's always the spiky, the highway, the hijack. Also, the security all of us were easy. So, I wonder if the game was played during the day. Nengata Maya, maybe take a taxi just to be on the safe side. Mara for a late night, they go Pretoria. It can end up being a very costly and dangerous exercise for me.
Okay. Mangoba. Why is a week man?
I guess he's not the face of Sundowns. Like, since when do we give our since
when you guys tell the story of Sundowns, no.
Eroko for example, I'm assistant coach here at Liverpool.
Kila head coach at Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm head coach at Liverpool.
Kila win a league assistant coach at Liverpool. Kila win the league.
Yeah, he actually is much more. He's much more talented to play against club. No, the thing is, like, Ramorata Mangoba. I wonder if Mangoba was the head coach. After when Pizzo left, I thought he was gonna be like the prop highly one Mangoba. Even Nagwele Elintwena Ele King co-coach while the main coach the Musketeers. Neremo praise. So I feel or question there if you're trying to push propaganda. But we love Mangoba. But right now, we're gonna speak more.
We're
gonna speak more about Rhulani over here because Morale get the ones at the rings.
Again, we spoke about Mangoba here the one day when we were ranking coaches, and I remember someone from Sundowns saying, or a Sundowns fan saying, but it was Rhulani who was doing the work under Mangoba. And every time, man, when we hear about the Sundowns, it's like you guys jump straight from Pizzo to Rhulani, and that stint Mangoba, you guys you guys don't honor that one, man.
Mara, remember our defense aditwane, and you know our fans baba ngulebona okare skolo gintwa lebona nahana. Again, I'm saying in general, because okay, I'm gonna go off point a little bit. Omong na complain are mo Facebook are parete why is yona e dlalang ko AFL because they've been in more finals tsa go KFL compared to Sundowns nako or confederations wa tlhalohanya go I'm trying to show you defend di byanye ka ditsa serious wa tlhalohanya
They don't know Paul. Okay, come on.
Yeah, Mangoba nakwele ele the face of Sundown, so they remo criticize, remo praise. Right now, agree na he chose hore no nyogona, or even if he chose, even though demodile. I don't know for what reason. Mara still, Rhulani get at the face, so every praise is gonna go to Rhulani. Ramorata that time, that is why. Hello, matla go chizisanya garnya ka yena
ke matla nna tsantse atle man tsantse atle re tlo mo hyper just like you guys hyper Rhulani even more re tlo mo hyper he'll get all the love and more go Chiefs but hey, let me go to Agent 007. Agent 007, two very quick questions. What do you make of Mokwena criticizing the fans? How do you fix that thing, man? The atmosphere, all of that stuff that comes with being a fan at a stadium. And then number two, why don't you guys, man? You guys don't give credit to Mangoba, man. I don't hear Sundowns fans speaking about him. What did he do to you guys?
If Mangoba goes to Chiefs, he will know that I've seen a man age life in TV.
We will love him. We will love him deeply.
Life in TV.
We will love him deeply and fight him with that love as well. It's all love.
You will know why a certain guy went back to promoting a certain washing powder. That's fine. I think, I don't know if that was Tebza speaking or Rhulani speaking in Tebza.
Oh, Tebza speaking.
No. I mean.
Oh, you mean okay,
yeah. Yeah, because I think that was just a clear deflection tactic. He just taking pressures off them. You can blame Sundowns fans, understandably, for league games and cup games, except when you have Chiefs and Pirates. But for KF, guys, no.
Your player said it.
When it comes to KF, those freebies, even Chiefs fans wear Sundowns t-shirt on that team. The stadium is always full. I think the only game that I remember that I was disappointed with the attendance was, which game was that? We beat that team away 2-0. And when he came here, the game was already done. So, most people didn't turn up, but it was one of those North African teams. I don't know if it was it Experience or what, something like that. I'm forgetting the name. But that was the only game that I was kind of disappointed. But even in that game, the stadium was more fuller than it would in a normal game. Some of us who attend league games religiously, sometimes only the stand behind the coaches is full. The other stands are empty. If you was blaming us for not attending games, when you're not given freebies or when it's not KEF, I would understand. That I would understand. But for KEF, no. He's just taking pressure off themselves and he's covering himself in shame. They're trying to bring shame. So I won't go there. But the thing is, again, Ukumo said the security needs to be upped in Loftus, and Loftus, man, for some of us who don't drink alcohol, when you go to the stalls, there is only alcohol. It's not family friendly. And they have to do more in terms of that. Even the food, guys. I ate pap and hard body, for 100 rand. 100 rand. pop and hard body. Yeah? Nah, guys, nah. I get you're trying to make promise, but no.
Like
So
Dallas Sundowns. I went to a Tuck
mm,
Sundowns game years ago. Hey, but if I peanuts, man, go plastic in here, go training, but it's fine anyway.
so you see, so I don't know if those Abu Mama who sell there are they being charged money to sell. If they are being charged money to sell there to put stores there, then the Motsepe family must subsidize or reduce the price so that prices can be normal. I
Okay.
mean, I would understand if I buy pop and
Mara,
hard
where's
body
the
for 50
love,
rand.
though? Mara, where's the love? You guys are complaining
No,
about all
no,
these things. Team Alona, Eco Cup Champions League. Surely the stadium should be full.
no. The thing is, is okay. So here's the thing with Sundowns, right? We watch the game. Before the game, we come, right? Let's say the game is at 7. We come
Yeah.
around half 6, right? The game starts at 7. It ends at 9. At quarter to 9 or 20 past 9, we start singing until players leave, which is around to 10. So between half 6 and 10, guys, some of us need to eat.
It
but
sounds like
but I think
excuses.
for no, but I think for us, and also we shouldn't flatter ourselves. We shouldn't flatter ourselves that in terms of supporter wise, we're at the level or anywhere in the level of Pirates and Chiefs. We are a Mamelodi team for now.
Okay.
Unless we go to places which are deprived of football, maybe Bloemfontein or Free State, where it won't be Sundowns fans coming, but Bloemfontein Celtic fans coming. So we shouldn't be that harsh. I think we should criticize our fans for not pitching up for PSL games, but yeah, it's fine. But Kev, no, Kev got it wrong.
And then quickly touch on Mangoba.
Quickly on Mangoba. The thing is, Mangoba is is a quiet person. Is a lethal, quiet, smiling assassin.
Okay.
You won't see him. Like for those, if you watch pre-game, people who used to do drills was Steve Compella. People who would shout instructions would be Steve Compella. So Steve Compella, you would see his involvement even when Rhulani was head coach. Now that Steve is gone, excuse me, Wendell Robinson is now the one who, who shouts out instructions. So you'd see Wendell's appearance more than Mangoba's one, and drills now. I think Coach Lofman has taken them over, so you'd see Coach Lofman doing the drills. So he is a good behind the scenes coach, and I think we appreciate him. That sometimes we think, Rhulani is doing the things, but I'm sure that
But I
Coach
mean, his
Mangoba
time
has.
when he was the head coach, I have yet to meet a Sundowns fan who speaks about that time. Whenever you guys speak about Sundowns, it jumps from Pizzo to Rhulani, and it almost feels like even that time when Mangoba was head coach, you still try to attribute it to Rhulani ka Saitinyana.
No. The thing is, I think that's why there is high standard and there is Sundowns standard. Coach Mangoba achieved high standard. He didn't achieve Sundowns standard as the leading figure in the trio. That's where the problem comes in. 10 years from now, we won't remember that Mangoba won us a league. Would we remember that? Not necessarily.
Was it
It's going
just
to
the
be one
one,
of
though?
it's going to be one of it's going to be like skipped in history. It's going to be more like we won 7 league cups, including this one. We won 7. Hey, are we gonna single each one and every one of that? So so that's the thing. We won't remember him much for it. The only thing that I remember about his time is he won what is it called? M108, which was eluding Pizzo, but that's all about it, but the reason why it looks like Coach Rhulani is getting most of the plaudits is the fact that he is more controversial, so obviously we'd have to praise him more, and also his winning record. It's a record, so hence he gets whatever he's getting. But we appreciate Omangobo, we appreciate him, and he's loved.
I'm glad you were honest with me. That's what I'm glad, because other people say no, but when you look at people speak, but it's fine. Pratop, 2 questions. How do you feel about the comments made Kalula defense Eliang Stadium by Mokwena? And then secondly, why is Abuika Mangoba, man?
Akuthoma ka Mancoba. Abana Mancoba uyabona le character ya semuthu wa bolela o arasa. But anyways, Dumani go Sundowns ke Rhulani. Because at the end of the day, every time I lose a mula, Rhulani. Understand? So, over assistant coach, you may go good to side coach.
Maracas kile waba head coach Mangoba. 2 years, what 2 years ka fela le head coach?
Yeah, Maranelli coach.
Hey guys. Mara, Rhulani was in the position. I can't really say Mangoba's the head. Then there's 2 coaches under him. If there's any decisions, final say Mangoba. Then when Rhulani was promoted, Rhulani head coach, final decision is him. Why is it different, guys?
Yeah, but I grew up on a lot of Sundowns. That's why Salar Kayatakan the result, the result, the Maracam Conner Gala. Neruina, Maracam Conner Gala, Bolocono, right? Mona Mugimata. So, as I'm saying, okay, no Rhulani we want. Okonovo, no, Kirola, once the influence Kirola, the way Talanga thing. I mean, when Batalitalia Punyana, I mean, Wavon, Kirola. So that's why I embrace it. And because of Kiana Mutor Konovala Lane, I can Mutaro Irala Ini, and whatnot. I'd say accountability. So, Ramarata they do.
Okay,
and Ariana.
And then defense. How do you feel about those comments they made? Kadluna defense. Oh.
I think this psyche must change. Because of regardless of what team, Raya, that's a stadium Murata. But don't tell a league sometimes, to tell a golden arrows outside. I think this thing are now big games, these huge African teams, year in, year out, and the quality of the games, the way sometimes see our essence and good than our rose. Yeah, and obvious rage. So where we know it's gonna be challenging. What are the different factors? Right, so that's like must change for Namasanda one. Attend more games. Namaragadi attend that game, even though it's a leaky against Zotle, but the huge big ones, then it's like have other those ones. It's non-negotiable. It's okay.
No problem. For time, I'm gonna just jump in and bring in Kolani. Tell me, 2 questions. How do you feel about what they said about the fans? Sundowns, what Mokwena said about the fans? And then secondly, Rhulani, why don't you guys rate to Mangoba, man? Why don't Sundowns rate to Mangoba?
Mr. Oti. Mina personally says I rate high Mangoba highly. Ini nakate ningamrate emini fethu. You were comparing him with Kevin Johnson. Ongena cup fethu. You were saying he's the same he's the same level as Mangoba, Kevin Johnson.
Until Steve. I said to Steve.
Yeah, maybe wena but ngibazwile mina bekhuluma bese bayafana phezulu. Manqoba when MTN 8 washaya 6 goals kwi-final phezulu. Manqoba wazibhola. Yeah, Manqoba wazibhola. It's not that mhlawumbe some overlooker. The thing is who's on the firing line, uRhulani. Whenever team iluza kuzobhlenywa uRhulani. Ngeke kushiwo kuthiwa uRhulani ne-assistant yakhe. It's always the head coach. So
Mara wasn't Manqoba head coach at some point, because you don't get demoted, you don't have final. Agithi bathe, they are co-head coaches, but Manqoba has the final say. That sounds like a head coach to me. And then when he got demoted, Rhulani got promoted. So why don't we look at the 2 years that Manqoba was in the firing line? I guess he got demoted. Demotwanga both co-head coaches, but Manqoba is going to step down. And Rhulani is going to be head coach. Why doesn't Sundowns speak about Manqoba's time?
During his time, esathatha ama-final decisions, sasimcompliment mfethu. Sasimcompliment mfethu. And when that futhi during that time, mfethu, the fact that book explain you ukuthi he's gonna take the final decision. Angiyona head coach le. Most head coach, you don't have to explain.
I need to sometimes explain it. Hi guys. If there's a decision made, Manqoba, I mean, I see that as head coach.
Yeah. But management didn't have that trust in him. So they had to explain the co-coaches.
Okay.
And about he comment, Tebza. It wasn't about attendance. It was about making noise, about like uplifting a team or a team is scoring. So he wanted the drum to be more louder even on difficult times. Yeah, but manje bese sisafika kule nto yokugcwalisa stadium and sisayingane in terms of i-volume ama-supporters asifani nama-Egyptian. They've been doing it for a while kunathi phezulu.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, sure.
I wanna start now. We're gonna talk, guys. Velile. Ngibayekile beSundowns bakhuluma. Ngibayekile bakhuluma ba-defender bayenzani. Funa ukubuza, I'm gonna start you off deep end.
Yeah.
Am I wrong to say that the Sundowns fans bamrate Manqoba?
Iqiniso vele lelo mntakama bamrate, but and also what makes that ukuthi bangamrate ukuthi things are still going well for the current coach and the buyer winner. They are progressing with good tactics. But if things were a little bit njengabanye abantu esingesibabize ngamagama, surely they would have been saying ukuthi uManqoba bekangcono when it comes to this and this and this and this and that. But just because the changes that management has made, it turned out to be good and they are winning. Rhulani as a coach, so that's why they won't remember uManqoba, because that was a bad day in the office. The time vele bashaya wale Polokwane last year MTN kuma-semi-final, so they won't remember that vele. That was a bad day. Uyayibona? So asingaba-blame kakhulu kunjani, because vele abesimo besisibi angeke bamkhumbule. But yena uManqoba, enye into futhi nakhona ningamnaki kakhulu, is just a different human being uManqoba from vele his days Golden Arrows noma kumaZulu or kuChipa. He's just akusilo umuntu olaphayana ngathi othanda ukubukwa mhlawumbe ofuna ukubonwa. Yangithola? So umuntu who just do his work and get on with his business and just keep quiet. He does not one of the fault trick and all the symmetric next to the touchline there and then no. He's not. That's why you see even last season when they've demoted him, you could see it was Yeah, when
Mokwena.
Waitulala Watali, it was painful because in that time he was no longer like standing up, but he just sit there and just relax in Jai. So, but yeah, that's why defending a type of character Yabantu Kwela. Yeah, he's just that person. But yeah, he did contribute a lot, and also he's knowledgeable when it comes to soccer, especially the South African soccer and the players and the style. You've seen him a couple of the games this season. Uphakamile kayi-2 kayi-3 and the amount ambheka wenzani makasukuma he doesn't go and shout on touchline. He goes and go Rhulani as if like he's getting permission from him. He's respecting a position kaRhulani. But uRhulani akakwenzi lokho. He'll go straight to the touchline. Go straight to touchline and shout. He won't. But Omanqube FC, there are 3 games I think they've won a game wakhona whereby after asukuma then consulted uRhulani and then Sundowns scored after lapho. And then you just went back wayihlala phansi yena vele nje yileyo nhlobo yomuntu nje asingeke simlwise kakhulu but yena hayi angimboni next season abuyela laphayana if izinto zizohamba ngendlela ehamba ngakhona yazi why ngisho njalo taking into consideration if you have listened to i-interview kaSteve Kompela noKhomoto on the Sunday World thing, if you have been watching, you can go and watch it on YouTube. It's there. Last statements Steve Kompela when they've asked him about what happened there and how did he move to Swallows. If you can listen to him, you can hear the tone, the undertone yakhona ukuthi khona nyana okungahambi kahle, the clash of personalities there, but knowing uSteve uzoyibeka ngendlela yakhe, but ma ungamlalela nje uzombona nje ukuthi okay, there's something happened there, and also Rhulani just talks of it, and yeah, but there's always you have to be a humility in winning esikhathini esiningi, and when masaphumelele nobuntu buyafunda khona singabi too arrogant. We can win it umazihamba kahle. Mina I praise him esikhathini esiningi because ngiyam understand, and also I always judge him based on my game engimbukelayo awadlala and the tactics that he made during the game ashintsha the whole complexion of the game. It shows good he's watching what's happening on the field. Akahlalanga nje. He takes charge and
they
said,
don't
okay,
hear when you say those things. They don't hear when you say those things. Bazwa kuphela the criticism things angisho. Abezwa masithi uRhulani is good namanje. Look at the comments namanje.
hey, mina ngazi ngaba lenkinto ngiyamncoma uRhulani. I've always praised him. Not even the game TS Galaxy, as much as they've lost it. But I admire Rhulani. Sundowns were the team that was playing beautiful football on that pitch. 9 men down, 2-0 down, but the coach stood up and made changes and show those changes affected the game. That's how simjudging ngakhona. Okuningi azokhuluma ke media ukuthi kwenzakala tshela ama-journalist. Hayi nami ngawutshela lapho ngimana ama-journalist ala eSouth Africa I know i-standard siphuwa. I've always said that.
You have always said that, yeah.
No, abaningi maba kuma-press conference, it seems like they are watching our babukela ama-comment wethu kuma-Facebook lapha kuma-comment wabantu nakuma-TikTok yabo lama-comment esikhuluma nje nama-support njengoba sikhuluma namanje and take our thing here and go and ask the coach ufuna ucoach akuphendule kanjani at sometimes because you were there. You instead of asking good to coach, what a brilliant tactics. Most of us were thinking good we are going to make a central defense change after losing Umvala, like in the first minute. But no, uyombuza into eyale ufuna kuthi akuphendula thini. Uzokuphendula ngendlela akuphendule ngayo think is good was le nto ubuza ngathi bongabulanga ibhola. Come on, you're a journalist for heaven's sake. There's a reason why you are there. Ubekwe lapha kunama-qualification kolapha because abanye babo laba no ngathi journalism le sekungena noma ubani nje kahle kahle.
Hayi idrama kufuneka idrama man. Journalism
No,
doesn't
but
sell papers velile.
Nah, i-problem ukuthi amaningi ama-journalist akithi siyazi asupporta yiphi team, so it's fine. Siyazi then yiko njalo bababuza.
Mara ngizobuya Tingbuye guys. That's Velile, also one of the members on YouTube, contributing members. The proper one, the proper overthinkers on that side. Thank you so much, Velile, for that support on YouTube. Malume Kutso, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm well, how are you, Mr. OT?
I'm good. I'm gonna work in reverse. Why don't Sundowns fans rate Mangoba? And I'm not like I remember we sat here and we had a thing where we were rating coaches and all of that stuff. And I remember there was a fight we had, or a fight I had with someone where we spoke about how this is the first time, the first full season where Rhulani is going to be the proper head coach. So I can't put him in the same conversation as certain other coaches because of time. Do they rate Umangoba? Do they see Umangoba's time? Do they see him as a head coach even?
I've actually missed that guy, man. In the live, it's been a while since I last saw him. I think he came in that time, and yeah, he never joined again live. But anyway, you see, I'm gonna answer it, but I hope you'll understand. Coach Rhulani, he enjoys this is very difficult, but he enjoys the love that Messi no Ronaldo gets.
Okay.
It's love that is very toxic at times, where when you speak out against them, you are suddenly a hater. It's love from a bigger pool. You see, if you're loved by 10 people and only one in that room hates you, it doesn't really matter that much, even though that person might stick out like a sore thumb. But if you're loved by 1 million people and you apply the same ratio, then 100,000 people hate you. But it's exactly the same ratio as the one person. Therefore, it looks like you are more hated than the other guy. It's actually the same thing. You're actually more loved. So Coach Rhulani also has a way of moving. He is very political about it. He's smart. What he did at Sundowns was a second attempt. He did it at Pirates as well, where he would somehow celebrate goals and send signals that he's the one who created this goal under Umicho. Understand? He, like just Velius just said, which we could see, which as in man, Rhulani might have had an influence on this build-up play. And the mistake that other coaches do is that they don't play his game. They somewhat underestimate him. They undermine him. They don't see him coming. He's actually coming for the throne. You understand? And they'll give him praises in the media. It's only who Coach Peter who used to limit him because he could see which wins are aligned. Now, if you check Coach Mangoba, he's not one to rock the boat. This is why he was actually disrespected initially by being given a co-coaching. So basically, you'll basically share all the glory, but when it comes to the bedside, it will be down to you alone. There was the structure that was given, and credit to him, he actually did. I think he won a treble in his first season. Well, understand, but the problem is that it then becomes a group work issue. Unlike when he loses, then it becomes about him. Actually, I couldn't say anything because I carry the head coach is Coach Mangoba, but I did suggest anyway. Understand? But when it works out, no one says my suggestion was ignored. You understand? So even for the Feds, it becomes difficult to decipher now with who does this look like. And Coach Mangoba was wise enough not to rock the boat when Coach Peter left. He didn't have so many changes. He knew what was working and stayed with it and stuck with it, which is why I think I stand to be corrected. He won a treble, which hasn't been done for some time since then. So it's very difficult for Ama fans as Sundowns to actually limit it down or narrow it down to Coach Mangoba. If he was, and I say this with respect, if he was someone who was an attention seeker, he would be able to get a respect, in inverted commas, the acknowledgement from Ama fans. But I listened to him speak not so long ago where he said, you must just don't be too emotional about things. Where he described himself as a mature figure that just because there's problems, it does not mean he must leave Sundowns. And for someone who's been a head coach, I think he's one of the first few people to do it, if not the first, the few to actually do it. for someone to be a head coach at a team and then allow themselves to be an assistant coach to someone you might regard as your peer shows a certain level of humility. And in being under a coach Pizzo, he did what he's doing right now, being under a coach Rhulani. He did not grandstand. He did not seek to show which this tactic came kana. He just did what an assistant coach has to do. He assisted. So I really don't blame them. How else would they know which this is Coach Mangoba? He's behind closed doors. He's quiet. I mean, if I had won 6-0 in a final, then people would know I've won 6-0. Understand? He beat Ajax Cape Town 6-0, but he's so chill about it. He doesn't put it in people's faces. All he wants to do is work. You understand? So the two coaches have striking differences in terms of personality, which is the reason why you see Sundowns reacting differently. It's because of what the personality demands. Coach Rhulani, it demands love, and he gets that, and protection and hate, if you may. And then Coach Mangoba, it's just let's just
He's
do
there.
it.
Yeah.
If it works out, kudos to the entire team. We're such a great team. If it doesn't, Esan, I fumbled. One understand. And I don't think Coach Rhulani would accept that. I don't know. Should I comment on the supporters as well?
I'm gonna come there. Let me just bring everybody in. Mhlave, I want to ask you as a Sundowns fan. Now, I want to clarify. I'm not saying that Mangoba should be given praise now. I'm saying that when the conversation of Sundowns, head coaches and Sundowns is winning history comes and everybody's speaking about it, there's that patch of 2 years where someone was co-head coaches but had final decision. And clearly, when it came time to demote someone was demoted and not the other one. Nobody speaks about that time, Mangoba. And I also say this because in the conversations I've had about Mangoba here, about Rhulani, Mangoba, all of that stuff, a lot of people have come to me and said that, no, but Rhulani was the one during that time. So as a Sundowns fan, why is Mangoba not recognized as Sundowns as one of the coaches that is part of this long league winning, trophy winning span?
Good evening, OT, and good evening to everyone in this life. Look, I think your question it's a bit unfair, if maybe I can put it like that. I remember now, Mangoba was never a head coach, so he was co-coach. Cause even the award that they won, remember they won best coach of the season. It went to both. It went to both Mangoba and Rhulani. It didn't go to Mangoba alone.
But
So
then when
for us,
Sundowns says final decision is Mangoba. So in a situation where Rhulani comes with something new, Mangoba can veto that. Does that not mean that you are fine co-coach by name, but you are head coach by practice?
no, but then now also those details were behind the scene details. I don't think it was out there in the public that
They
saying
announced it. Sundowns
Mangoba.
announced it. Sundowns announced it. There was
No,
Sundowns explaining.
but then on paper, Rhulani and Mangoba were co-coaches. There was no co-coaches with 51% deciding vote. So both of them were co-coaches. But then, however, if they clashed, that's when Mangoba comes and then make the final decision. But then now we can't take that and saying, no, Mangoba was best coach because when they clashed, he was taking the decision. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It won't be fair to say we don't recognize. We do recognize Mangoba, by the way, and we love him, we respect him, and then we no doubt this is a best coach that we have in Sundowns. But then now you're trying to I don't know paint him like
we disregard him. No, we don't do that. But then the system doesn't allow us to give him the same flowers that we're giving Rhulani. Remember, Rhulani now is a solely head coach, so obviously he's gonna attract the attention. He's gonna attract the attention that we're giving him as compared to Umangoba, that was a co-coach. So the problem is the situation that they agreed. It was in the marriage. So in the marriage, when the marriage works, you can't say no. It's the husband that was working overtime. It's the marriage. Both them, the wife and the husband, they're working together as a couple. So it's not simple like to remove Rhulani into the equation and say let's praise Mangoba alone. But then had Mangoba been a head coach, we are going to give him his flower, and
So then why was
not that when we say
why was Mangoba punished alone?
no, he was not punished, but then it was rearrangement. There
They
was
said
rearrangement.
demoted. Why was he punished alone? If it was a co-coach, he lost the final, then all of a sudden he's at the bottom.
No, but then it's reshuffling. It happens everywhere. It's reshuffling, and then now the roles were clear. That now Rhulani is going to be the solo head coach.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but then
No,
I
yeah,
think
I'm just
you're being
saying,
unfair to me.
I'm just reading the statement was that the final decision is Mangoba, and then when push came to shove and something had to happen, Mangoba was demoted. So I'm saying
I see you. I think.
But then how do you guys speak about him? Because even then, how much credit do you give to Mangoba for that? Let me ask you that then. During the time that he was co-head coach with Rhulani, how much credit would you give to Umangoba? Because in the conversations I've had here, people have said that no, it was all Rhulani.
But then all I'm saying is it's difficult to give credit to Mangoba alone when they were co-coaching.
Okay.
You understand my point? Listen, me personally, I respect to Coach Mangoba. I rate him highly as one of the best coaches. I mean, he won a cup with Golden Arrows. So he's capable. He's one of the best coaches that we have. But then on the question that you're asking me, it's difficult for me to separate him from Rhulani because you can't separate. They are one package. You understand? But then if you want me to really now say how to rate him, it's a very good coach, highly rated coach. Mangoba, I mean, he is a father figure to those young boys, and then he's helping Rhulani even now. It's not just that now he's under Rhulani, but then we can see his influence on the bench as well. So Mangoba is top human being, top coach. We love him as supporters. We respect him. But then I think the agenda that you're trying to push here, maybe you want Mangoba to come to your club.
It's not an agenda,
okay.
guys.
It's okay.
I'm saying what I was told. I'm saying what I was told because all I said was that I remember the conversation we had. All I was saying was Rhulani is now sole head coach. You've seen the changes that Rhulani has instituted since the announcement. He's changed everything, right? Besides Mangoba. He put in Abo Loftman. He's changed the coaching structure. He's changed the development when he's had the opportunity as head coach, right? And then I'm also going by what happened. One went from co-head coach to first team coach, below what Steve Compella was. You know what I mean? And then the conversation that I was having that day was basically to say, Rhulani is now on his own, right? He's the man, he's the guy, he's made the changes. I can't rate him above Umangoba because Umangoba has had a long career. So in his career, I can't take 1 year of head coach or a couple of months of head coach or a year of head coach versus somebody who's been there for 8 years. And it's not even because of the winning. It's just because when I look at Mangoba, I have a clear picture of everything that has happened in his career up and down. I can't let Rhulani go ahead of that just yet. Rhulani could go on to have the most amazing career ever. Then I was told in that conversation that he was the main driving force behind Sundowns. So then I was asking the question that, But then, how do you look at Tumangoba in that situation? Because now you're telling me that Rhulani was the main force behind that thing. Now he's the main force now. You get what I mean? So my question was more to ask, what is Mangoba's role then? Let me put it like that. What is Mangoba's role in Sundowns history? Because not many Sundowns fans talk of him highly. You get what I mean? Even now, people are talking about, hey, he's an assistant. I never said that. I just said in the history of Sundowns, I don't hear people speaking from Pitso and going to Rhulani and saying Mangoba in the middle. It's usually straight from Pitso to Rhulani. You get me?
But then, do you get my point? Why we can't maybe include him in the pattern of history that you want us to include him? Because we cannot separate him from the history that you want us to include him from Pitso, then him, then Rhulani. The problem is because he was never alone. It's got nothing to
most
do.
of the time, Bamo Jampa.
No,
And then it's like he was never there.
But then we know you don't want to accept the fact that Tumangoba was co-coaching with Upitso. That's the reason why it seems like we're jumping him. We're not jumping him, but then we're not gonna, when we include him, we're gonna include him with Rhulani. Hence, they won Coach of the Season, both of them. You understand? Yeah.
Okay, no, it's fine. I'll leave it, Theo. Maybe you can jump in there for time. How do is Mangoba respected as he should?
Hey, they wanna bite your head off. Yo, hey,
Hey,
you're asking a simple. They realize, hey, we have Mangoba and Kona Bamufuna. That's why Balanga. But good evening to you and the panel. And the guys in the comment section. Yeah, guys. I do get your question. It's an interesting question. I think also it needs us to also not be emotional at some point, because I see a lot of people are being emotional. It's a simple question asking, when you talk about the coaching staff that has been in Sundowns so far, or the technical staff in a way, where do you rate Mangoba? Where do you rate Rhulani, Pitso, and then Steve Kompela? That's a simple question. And you look at people always said Kompela was there as the talkative, the one on the good side, tactician, besides Rhulani, Pitso, the main man. Mangoba, guys, he was a silent partner, but there's no crime in saying that. So for me, I will answer it as best as I can understand it, Jabo. Mangoba was given reins, guys. Let's not just joke about, let's not hit around the bush. Mangoba was given reins at Sundowns, and then he happened to make some few flaws. He lost against Chiefs, lost some cups, and then they said, okay, you know what? Let's demote you and promote Rhulani. Simple thing, guys. Rhulani, when he came on, Rhulani was not just a head coach. Rhulani became a powerhouse. Rhulani changed everything. Rhulani spoke his position. Like, the simple thing that we just don't want to agree is that Mangoba is not that involved in media, whereby he's there talking, For an example, who cares was trending, guys, because of money? The new coach, there's no crime in saying Mangoba had expectations or things that they wanted him to do, but he didn't do them. So they passed on the reins to Rhulani. Rhulani is doing super well to a point whereby he's superseding what they expected Mangoba to do. So in simple terms, Mangoba is a great coach, but when it comes to the standards of Sundowns, he did not live up to them. Simple as that. Rhulani is living up to them because he's doing the very same thing that Pitso was doing. He's controversial. He's bringing, players that we have never seen, the way they are playing, the style of play. Mangoba was like continuing what was already there. That's why people we did not even see his signature. Tell me two players that he changed from their position. We know Pitso. There are a lot of players that Pitso came up with. Rhulani, we're seeing now. So it's simple thing, man, guys. Let's not argue over I'm a potato. It's simple, mentally. Mangoba season. Wow.
No, it's fine. Okay, guys, let's get. I know we took a bit of a detour there. Velile, let's talk about Sundowns playing in versus the Petro. What I like about them playing in the AFL and playing in the CAF Champions League is that they're not going to be tested much in the PSL. So you see what happened with the Petro games where Petro came in, they got a penalty at some point, Abomvala getting red cards. How do we feel about Mamelodi Sundowns in this tie that they've played right now? And is this the true test for the Sundowns?
Oh, ngiyabonga for ithuba. Hayi, labantu balwa nathi labantu endasilwi nabo. Sizama ukuchaza if nje ngitshontshe isikhathi sakho, if I could just borrow nje kancane nje ukuthi I have to just go back to clarify my position before ngoba ngiyabona ngiyalandwa la impela kuma comment as if ngathi mina ngithi uRhulani is not a good coach. I've never said that. I've supported Rhulani and I'm one of his favorite in terms, as I've said, I'm one of his favorite guy and supporting him in terms of changing the tactics of the game that he's currently playing at the present moment. That's what I'm saying. And mangichaza ukuthi the difference between uRhulani no Manqoba, I've specifically explained it with two types of different person. Abanye they'll ask ukuthi vele kanti umsebenzi we-assistant yini, of which I was correct by saying ukuthi uManqoba njengoba i-assistant manje, he understand what's assistant. Before asukuma, he consulted uRhulani and see make changes. But uRhulani has been an assistant coach before that, even at Pirates. Hlala sikhona esigodini sakaMamezi, behlala simbona ukuthi what he was doing kuMicho. Sometimes ubona iPirates ikorile Micho what they do, ambambe nangesandla like holding uMicho. Everybody knows those games. We're just clarifying that ukuthi umehluko yilo nje phakathi kwalabo bantu asithi cha mhlawumbe kwenzekala la cha ngangijaka ukuthi ngikhuluma ngePetro, siyazi niyawina ama-Sundowns mani banodlabela abantu onke banodlabela
wabona uRhulani, wabona that conversation like uRhulani, yo. Hey, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you say.
No, coming to the game yePetro. Igame yayizolo probably vele expect maybe there will be a different approach since Sundowns has won the first leg. Angola time they were playing away. So, but currently, since available, because I always even watch Sundowns go Champions League. Most of these southern part countries, none the eastern side, and I watch Sundowns. These Sundowns mostly is competing in Al Ahly, you wait at Casablanca. And mostly Zamalek. Those competition Sundowns. Those lawa I was shoot percentage. The go is not as sound as fun with PSL. And you could see even when they approach those games, the AFL, whether they're playing home or away, they don't care. They just ruthless attack, put their best players on the field. They don't cater my games. We're going to play this one and this one. They just play their normal football that they know. And then they will bury you alive. That's what I like, and also that's what I want to watch every day. I enjoy watching Sundowns playing the type of attacking soccer, not defending who has to defend that. That's what we paid for. I love
And
watching
you know
it.
what else I
I
like?
criticize on that side.
Do you know what else I like?
Yes.
I like watching, contrary to popular belief, clearly, I like watching Sundowns in those games because the greatest thing, the greatest compliment you could pay to Rhulani is questions are asked on the pitch, he adapts. Like UPSL, they play one way the whole way, but then Rhulani, even in press conferences, they'll tell you that they did this thing and then they went that way. And then we replied like this. So when they went down to 10 men, somebody said here, Guti, they didn't change the structure necessarily. He watched and saw. So I enjoy that part of watching Sundowns playing in continental football.
Yeah, remember, like football is a game. Also a game of opinions. That's why we are even gathered here on this platform to discuss and sometimes to differ on what we saw and on what we see currently, what different teams are doing. But Oksala, as I'm saying, is Sundowns currently now is the best team, and they are doing wonders representing in South Africa and representing now themselves. But Oksala and Wabangas took like my comment. If they play away but represent an art, South Africa kubalwa nathi lapho. Siyazivanga when they are saying it's from South Africa, yithi lapho. So yithi kukhulunywa ngathi. So we enjoyed it. And there's we also need to thank Rhulani for being that brave coach, or to come up with new ideas when it comes to soccer. Always equipping himself with new methods and trying to learn new things. We are going to implement my tactics. So this is new. He's trying something here. Okay, let's see which is working. And in most cases, again, like they are working, and that's good. That's what we want to see. We don't always want to see the Emile and we are developing, we are growing now and then. Soccer is also developing, it's changing. So it needs to adapt to these new methods and new understanding of soccer. And Rhulani is doing that. He's a scholar of beautiful football and he's doing that. And we love him for that. As guys, I'm criticizing him. That's why I've always come on this platform and said, Rhulani, he came up with answers on this match and we saw what change that he made. That's it. No, this one I'm always
Hey, we were going from a very hot topic. We were going from a very hot topic, Malume Kuto, to now I want to speak about the game. How good is it to see Sundowns get to play these games where they're actually challenged and can use a lot of the great stuff that they can do? It's good to see that, man. I see who win every day, go PSL, but then sometimes you need to see, okay, we considered a penalty because they did this. There was a red card just to get the juices flowing. How do you feel about that?
Hey, sometimes we're unfair, man. And we take a dim view on certain tactics. And I'm going to say it. To suggest that they are only challenged in Africa is unfair on Pirates and Coach Mlifinzeki.
Okay.
Direct and in capital letters. Coach Mlifinzeki. Coach Mlifinzeki presented, as we put it here, questions to Sundowns, and they were never really answered properly. And he was somewhat unlucky. It's part of football. Let's move away from benefits and everything. But he was unlucky. There's a question that Coach Rhulani asked the media people to say, if I say to you, we were not pressed, will you believe me? That's the approach that I feel Coach Mlifinzeki would also say. We are not under pressure. We wanted them in our half so that we could break. Understand? So sometimes it's very difficult for people to see what's happening. And we take a dim view on things that we don't find attractive, which is similar to a question that I asked about UAB, that if game in and game out, we see him as a weakness, yet he's never exposed. Is he really a weakness, or does he know exactly what he's doing? Does he look like he's a weakness? But once you play against him, you start feeling him, which actually, all of these things I'm thinking of are a myth. I really can't achieve them. He's that good that even on a yellow, you can't get a red card out of him. Understand? So I don't want to say they're not challenged locally, but are they challenged on the continent? I wouldn't go to Petro.
Yeah, not Petro, but they had their moments.
I wouldn't go to Petro for a challenge. Maybe they will be challenged when they meet
the Al-Ali's the next game.
Teams where they are daily bred. I mean, Sundowns is daily bred to Wydad Casablanca. How many times have they played, and how many times have Wydad knocked them out? How many times has Sundowns, Al-Ahly knocked them out? It looks balanced on the face of it, but in actual fact, once you start going into detail, you notice once it's crunch time, these teams tend to knock them out and with ease, just applying pressure here and there. Next thing, Sundowns is out. Well, I understand. So maybe this year they'll improve, but we can only tell with the semi-final coming up. I really can't read much into the game against Pedro. As you know, Chiefs also beat Pedro. Well, I understand.
But I mean it more. I think Malume Kuts, I mean it more as, how many times do you see Sundowns giving away a penalty? How many times do you see Mvala press to the point that, or under pressure to the point where he has to take one for the team? You get what I mean? And Chiefs, he came out and gave him a semi-challenge, but it was a challenge it almost felt in one direction. So it was a challenge in Sundowns attacking. How do you break down the Kaizer Chiefs? Yes, I don't want to speak about it benefiting and stuff like that, but It was a challenge in that sense. Yes, we got some breaks, but I feel like in Africa, it goes both ways, if that makes sense. And there'll be matches versus Chiefs, there'll be matches versus the Pirates, like MTN8 final. But on the whole, when Sundowns is winning the league by Boma 16 points, I can say that they're not really challenged in the PSL. And now in the AFL and maybe somewhere else, yes, they got that 2-0 thing, but they needed to be careful, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not saying that Petro was the best, but in terms of now Sundowns has to think a game, you know?
Yeah, you see, when we spoke about the Pirates being a team Yamamoots, what I've picked up from Sundowns as well is that they also find it difficult to come out of a slump. If you think about how they were knocked out of the Champions League last season, it was after they had already won the league and went on a series of games being comfortable. And then Mashapwa get it draw and could not explain how after winning a 5-0, they were suddenly out, or 5-2 or 5-something, they were suddenly out of the Champions League. Right now, having been beaten by Pirates, okay, they went away, came back, TS Galaxy, drew a game. If you check that trend, it's by no surprise that they played to a 0 draw against Petro. It's something actually common if you look at the pattern here, one understand. Yes, the Petro game away is a standout, but I still hold Uguti. The tactics applied by Coach Mulifinseki, people have a dim view on them. If it's like if Mulifinseki was pompous, he could say, I can break Sundowns at will. Which is exactly what he would do. When he feels, okay, now it's time to go, boys, he would actually get a goal, get a chance, get a penalty, whatever. He would actually even change systems where people would say, people would even say, no, you're actually attacking them right now, stick to this. And he's like, actually, I can vary this thing and attack them differently and start pinging balls in the box, one understand, to a point where Sundowns are committing mistakes, silly mistakes that are uncharacteristic of them, giving away penalties from crosses, one understand. So I feel like some tactics, and we've discussed this before, they're not easy on the eye. So we take a dim view on them. We would prefer to say you are dominating if you're playing tiki-taka. But I still go back to the question asked by Coach Rhulani. If I say to you, I was dominant today, would you understand which I was dominant, even if I did not have the ball? So what I'm saying is that I get, basically my response to it is that maybe let's wait for the Al Ahly game to see how does Sundowns react when they are challenged at a higher level. Because let's be honest, there's a challenge from Pirates and then there's a challenge from Al Ahly. Those are worlds apart where with the Pesita against Sundowns can grab the ball from center line and take on the entire left-hand side and score alone with ease while jogging, you understand? Which at Pirates, this season, we can't do really. But let's see against Al Ahly. Petro, Pirates can beat Petro, guys, at any day, at any time. Don't be fooled by what happened with Chouaneng. We just underestimated Chouaneng. But Pirates can beat Petro at any day.
Hey, on the Chiefs one, I slightly disagree because I feel as though, I don't think it was Ntseki's brilliance. I just feel as though Ntseki had a tactic that just so happened to work versus Sundowns because he played similarly for a couple of games until he left. But I feel as though, you know that thing, man. Ibereka ko Sundowns, but then for some odd reason, Bereka ko Sundowns. But then when it's time to go, apply it elsewhere. And maybe that's just a dim view of Ntseki and the Chiefs that we watched. But I hear you. Let me bring in Mhlabe. How does it feel as Sundowns to know that now you're going into matches? What's the difference between, how do you feel how does the difference feel? Playing PSL and knowing that we're probably going to win this game, You won all your games in the PSL except for the cup games. But then going into a tournament like AFL, where you're like, yes, getting a red card, a penalty. Is it exciting to know that you're now playing in a competition where you're going to be asked questions? And maybe Petro might not have asked as many questions, but there were moments.
Yeah, no, sure, Uti. Let me start maybe by clarifying, Uti, we're not fighting, guys. We're not. Remember, we only 57 of us, so we're just raising our voice to be heard. We're not fighting. We also just having conversation. Let me also comment on the game before I come to your question as well, Uti. The Petro game. Look, I was at Loftus. What a pitch, the hybrid pitch, well manicured. What a masterclass game that we saw was very tactical. I thought Rhulani guys has grown. The Rhulani that we saw from last season, both Champions League and this one, it shows maturity. It shows that he has grown. There's some game management to these CAF games. Because I thought last season was very, very naive. He thought maybe his tactics they all matters, and then maybe also undermine the level of CAF Champions League. But then what I saw yesterday, I saw maturity from Rhulani. I even saw some game management time. There was a time whereby after we got that red card from Umvala, there were a time where Alenda was also out, and then I saw Williams trying to buy us time lying on the ground there. Something that usually Rhulani would encourage us to do, but then I could tell that something that was discussed on the training pitch, whereby it helped us. We were playing a proper Champions League game yesterday. With Umvala, yeah, I think people have spoken. I thought that was he had to do what he had to do. He had to take one for the team there. Had Petro scored that early goal, it was gonna be a whole change game. But yeah, Mvala had to do, and it's unfortunate that it's Mvala. It could have been anyone else. Kotia could have committed the same foul. It's unfortunate that it's Mvala, but then I don't falter him. I don't love him less. He's still one of our best soldiers. Hopefully, if we go through to the final, Rhulani praise him. I think Mvala has been good to us. And then also to the Sundowns players, you can tell those guys are well coached, man. And the thing of playing more than one position, it helps. Because immediately when Vala got that yellow card, you saw Rivaldo going back to playing defensive, and then immediately Mudiva came to play the left back, and then AB, of which AB, I saw AB playing yesterday. I'm like, I thought about you guys and saying, you guys must attack AB. AB now played 2 games without yellow card. I thought it was very, very good. AB was very good yesterday. No, AB was good yesterday, and it will be good also with PSL. But then, Allende. I think this is the last season we see Allende in South Africa or Africa for that matters. He doesn't deserve, guys, to be honest, to be playing here. I thought he had a good game. Masego is growing as well. He improved from that last game we had in Pedro. I thought he had a good game as well. Overall, the whole team, and Rhulani for not making that early substitute, for not panicking. Even you can tell, even his first substitution, I thought maybe now he's gonna try to kill a game, maybe put in a defender. No, he put off Userino and Mshishi. He puts in Mendieta and Ku. And then you can tell it's attacking. There's no reason for him to panic and try to pump in defenders. So yeah, kudos to Rhulani. He show maturity. You can tell Rhulani is also growing as a coach. And then and then I'm happy for Rhulani. And then I mean, yesterday I think it was his 50th game, of which he won 35, drew 14 and lost one. Now say he lost one. This thing of penalty, when we gamble, it says that thing.
Aye, lost.
So
Cocots
he lost.
lose. Ungayenzi
So yeah, he
njalo.
lost one. And lost one game in 90 minutes. Okay, lost one game in 90 minutes. But then there's still more to see from Rhulani, and let's
Mara,
hope
can
we
you
also
guys,
see.
when you guys speak about this, ne, and I don't want to spark another conversation like the last one. Please, can you not compare it to pizza, man? Please, can you not compare it to pizza? It's apples and oranges. I've seen a lot of people comparing it to pizza and saying that even pizza didn't have that start. Please, can we? It was a completely different situation.
No, these are two different coaches. They way too different. But then
Even situations,
Pizzo,
Pizzo took a team from relegation. That was part of the 50 games. But people are adding it. Not you, Mhlav. I'm just putting it out there.
yeah, but then also with Rhulani, its numbers is there. Numbers don't lie. They are there. They speak for themselves. Sometimes you don't need to speak for these
Aye.
things. The numbers are just
No, he's done
they
well.
are there.
Let's not
They are
compare
there.
it to Pizzo, please, guys. Kalikopa Sundowns fans, can you please not compare it to Pizzo? People have been sending me that thing and telling me, look at this, it's better than Pizzo. They use that quote where Pizzo says he'll be better than me. It was two different situations, guys. Please.
Yeah. And also to the Sundown supporters, guys, no one is gonna praise Rhulani. We are 57 of us. We must fight for Rhulani. We must hype Rhulani. There's no opposition fans that can hype Rhulani the way you guys want us to hype. Cause imagine had Rhulani been doing what he's doing, go Kaizer Chiefs or Arnold Pirate. I mean, we'll be eating Rhulani every day. Breakfast, dinner, supper, we'll be hearing about Rhulani. But then just because it's Sundowns and it's only 57 of us,
That's
it's fine.
why,
And when
Mara,
we get a
guys,
chance,
how many
we're
times
gonna
does
hype the guy.
57 go into 2 million? Just the ratio, guys, the ratio. Let's release some chips just because there's a lot of us. It seems as though.
Yeah, but then I'm just saying, imagine Rhulani doing what he's doing at Chiefs or Pirates. Just imagine having these numbers, this 73% winning ratio. Imagine if he was doing it to Pirates. I think, yeah. But then it's Sundowns, and then agenda must agenda sometimes. So
Mara
we
guys,
are fair.
you see, you guys are starting these agendas. It's not an agenda, guys. It's not an agenda. We saw it at Chiefs. At Chiefs, if you won 2 trophies in 2 years, you were fired. You weren't seeing a 3rd year. So we saw it. If you guys say Tina, we were hyping. Tina coaches used to last 2 seasons, but we winner. Middendorf got fired. Agu number 2. So I hear that, but the hate is the hate. If the love is high, the hate from Chiefs fans. You don't want to touch that either. Let me go to Theo quickly. Theo, besikhuluma during igame yePirates. Bewusho ukuthi hayi bobukela ibhola ngale. Ngapha kuPirates bewungabukalanga ibhola. How nice is it, ne? And not in a sense to hate Sundowns, but sometimes Gelbone Ugoku alwa nabantu that have similar power levels, and not to say Petro's the one, Mara. Yabona, how nice is it to watch that?
Yazi, I love the fact that you are using uGoku. Uletha bo freezer, yabona man. Abantu abashaya bavuke manje. But the interesting thing about what Sundown supporters don't realize is the fact that, we are talking about Sundowns because we are seeing something. We're not gonna come and say 100% we want everything to be good with Sundowns. We want them to suffer because come on, we are Chief supporters, Pirate supporters, but that does not mean that we are not acknowledging what we are seeing in Rhulani. First and foremost, as a disclaimer, Guys, Rhulani is the best coach in South Africa right now. At this very moment, what he's doing, many coaches cannot even solve the problem or the puzzle that is fitting together. This guy does not have two of his best strikers. Agana Costa, Agana Shalulile, but he's dominating a team whereby you like, how come? Yeah, well, you watched that game yesterday. Guys, it's like when Sereno is up there, Zwane is up there, like the way the way they are rotating that position, you would swear Guti, those guys don't need a striker. You understand? So for me, we're not hating on Rhulani, we're not hating on Sundowns. We're just realizing Guti, Sundowns might be a force that cannot be stopped. That's my fear, As long as they do not get competition in South Africa, they are not going to be stopped, guys, when it comes to Africa. Why I'm saying that? Because you go to Abu Al Ali, Zamalek is there, Pyramids is there, they are fighting for that spot. You come here, Isan County is 16 points clear already. So that means they have less job to do in Lara Ekaya, whereas continentally, in Africa, they are doing very well. You watched that game yesterday. Guys, these guys had to play plus or minus, let's say, 90 minutes by 9 grounding. And they were playing against a team that was like, let's be honest, Sundowns struggled at first. Petro was on top of them, taking the ball, Aboniba Foster. But Sundowns is how they are, man. They fight, they soldier on, their pressure, their energy is high. They came and then they win the game. But there is all, guys, you would swear good Sundowns was not playing against the same Petro first leg. So I think for me, when they go against Al Ali, I believe one thing, and I know many people are going to say, it's impossible. Sundowns guys is going to win AFL. I promise you that.
Al Ali doesn't look
Not
strong. I'm really white-head. Al Ali struggled
that's
versus
what
the
I watched
team.
them. I watched them today as well. That's why I'm saying, Guti, there's no team. I don't see any team that's going to stop them. I know according to Stats, Akdala, Abu Ranja Casablanca, they made them there and there. But guys, about the way they are now, they are back up, Palabantu, Bayakora, Badlali Pola. Like they are doing everything at the very same time. So Aksasi Sundowns they've managed to adapt into territories where you see Guti, South African players usually they say are soft. Yeah, but when they've managed to adapt and they are using that to their advantage, that's why you saw Mvala getting sent off early, because they wanna show dominance. They wanna show good no guys a Sansabi like we did before. Yeah, but we have an Allende who can move the ball like a magician. We have a Zwane who's old, but he's playing like a 23-year-old. That's why I even said yesterday, the touches guys about Kishore Zwane, the touches about Kishore Mokwena. This is a team for me that if I was not coaching, if I was not supporting Chiefs, I tell you now, Sundowns would be my number one team. Not because they are doing good or they are playing or they are winning. It's because the style of play Sab is so convincing to a point whereby they can go against any team. I promise you, they will try and dominate. You will see them doing something. They are just going to relax. They will never relax. They will never sit back. They will never be a team that is under attack alone. What I love about them is there's plan A, plan B, plan C. And the beauty about Rhulani is the fact that Rhulani is not just a head coach or a coach. He's a tactician and he's also a manager. He knows how to then I bring coach here. So he understands his players. He's not just coaching them, but he's also managing in the sense that he understands their weaknesses and their strengths. So with him having or knowing that, it's only here in South Africa where Chiefs and Pirates can cause him threats, because very much domestic teams, they know them to a very, very good sense. But when it comes to AFL guys, I promise you, they are going to take that cup and it's going to be said. They are going to come and win every game, or maybe 3 or 4 games in the PSL. And then obviously they're going to take the league.
Hi. Hey. For me, I'll always tell Sundowns fans that, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I get jealous of Sundowns. And then I think I get jealous of how good Sundowns is. But for me, I don't like to aim it at Sundowns. Contrary to whatever people believe, I don't like to aim it at Sundowns. I like to aim it at my own team and say, Amara guys, like I there's a game that I always speak about there was a game that I think Sundowns was playing Wydad right after, I think it was the Chiefs match or something, or one of the PSL matches. I remember I watched it live, if I'm not mistaken. And hey, you could just tell the difference, man. You could just tell the difference. Sometimes you just want to watch good football. And unfortunately, our PSL teams, hey, sometimes, man, guys, sometimes. I wish one day I'm going to bring Rhulani here. One day I want to bring Rhulani onto this platform so we can have a conversation with him. Malume Kuto, I wanna close now. Tell me, what are your closing statements for tonight?
It's Wednesday today, ne?
Yeah, Wednesday.
I think on Monday we spoke at length about Kaizer Chiefs. Tuesday we spoke at length about Orlando Pirates. Even today we spoke at length. No one really cares about Sundowns, guys. No one hates you. Yo, I mean, the way Nenzanga corner, it's like we hate you. No one hates you guys. We're just having an honest conversation. This Rhulani you protect so much right now was at Pirates. Now we must first batter you and first give you compliments before we can criticize properly. No, guys, chill out. We're really just talking football. It's nothing personal. If we see something and we think maybe it should be different, we must be able to say it without being afraid.
As we said about Chiefs on Monday, as we said about Pirates on Tuesday, I think people lose sight of that too.
And today again about Pirates, and it was criticism leveled at Ukana Jose Rivero. But come on, Manje, we're just talking. We even giving compliments every time we have to talk. We must have some foreplay first with Ish. Actually, I'm a Rhulani fan. I love him. Next thing, we are getting guys. Come on, we're just talking football. Yes, I never thought I'd be overwhelmed by 57 people. But they're the most sensitive bunch. I thought Kaizer Chiefs was sensitive. Also, no, come on, gents. All I'm saying is me now. I think Al Ahly has the mental strength to beat Sundowns. Al Ahly is taking it with their experience. They know how to play home and away. Yes, Sundowns is learning, but let's all remember, on this world stage, Sundowns is pretty much a super sport, a top 4 team with nothing to offer.
Hey, man. Yeah. Now, my closing statements for tonight.
Yeah, no, hey, interesting conversation. No, what I can say, Uguti, I just hope Rhulani stay this humble and then keep on learning. He matures. The game. No, but then he's human being. He's growing, but then OT is the same Rhulani for last season that you see this season. Rhulani this season on post match or those interview, he can say he doesn't want to answer a question. If we see that the journalists are trying to be smart on him, we'll just tell you, no, I won't answer that question. That question may be for management. But then the Rhulani that we know that season was that's maturity for me. That's maturity for me. But yeah, I mean, he's not money after all. Not everyone's gonna love him. I mean, everyone's gonna celebrate this. They're waiting for his downfall.
Guys,
it's
where do
another.
you guys get that thing, man? Where do you guys get that thing? As a football fan, sometimes, Mara, we're waiting for Nseki's downfall, we're waiting for Jose's downfall, we're waiting for everyone's downfall. Guys.
No, Rhulani must just keep working very hard, keep doing what he's doing. Yeah, the Ali game is not going to be easy. But then I know Rhulani don't take any game for granted. He'll do the same homework that he does to each and every opponent that they play against. Yeah, hopefully the guys become calm. They play their own game. Hopefully we get a good referee as well. Even though there's VAR in this thing, but then these referees sometimes can be bogus. But yeah, I'm hoping we don't concede a goal so that we don't give them an away goal advantage. We win a 3-0 here, and then we good to have a 1-1 draw at Cairo next Wednesday. And then to all the Yellow Nation Sunday, let's go there. And to the Chiefs and Orlando Pirates supporters, guys, I've got about 7 t-shirts. If you want, I can borrow you. We go support South African football. It's fine. We rent we just 55 guys. There's no way we can fill up Iloftas C57. So please, guys, help us. We are on national duty here. This is not Sundowns. No. No, we're not. We're not. We're even humbling. We're asking nice. So please come and watch Gucci football, guys. Come see expensive football for free. For free. Most of you guys, you've never seen Mshishi play live. Come, you will regret not to see Mshishi play football, guys. Come see Mushishi play. Your life will never be the same. Come see Mushishi play football. That guy, he knows sport. Please, guys, let's go to Loftus Saturday. I'll be there. But yeah, otherwise, great conversation. Yeah, we was just talking, guys. We not mean to disrespect anyone or anything. But and if there's something that we said which maybe didn't sit well with someone, not from my side, I apologize. It was just bantering, nothing personal.
Guys, we're
Otherwise,
bantering here. No stress, no stress.
Sharp, sharp.
I wonder if you guys are serious about wanting us to come. Any Chiefs, sing quality game. Just let us wear our gold and say the gold is also a yellow, then it's fine. Mara lento uti. Mele kogama yellow Brazil. Tio, ay, bazojikela labantu. Base ba win AFL, it's not South Africa anymore.
Yey. Basithwala enhloko babhizi basidelela basihlanyela ulwejezi le-Chiefs abeze sibaboleke asabanika nama-chips futhi babalambile badle angeke sigcwele ijezi labo le-ANC bayosihlolela awu babhizi baqopha ijezi lama-Springbok bagqoka ijezi elimnyama bazosihlanyela asi-Pirates
But actually,
guys, we're not fighting anyone.
We're not fighting. We're just trying to fix South African football.
Yeah, we're trying to fix South African football. Asili mood.
But I'm a closing statement to Aquatin.
Guys, Mr. Oti, thank you, man. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for, these good conversations. Guys, I don't think some of us, have really, went so deep in understanding our own teams, our companions, whereby, our team is our phone, but now you're learning to understand. No, man, you want to 57 fans, they love their team. They will go hard and die for their team, so they can multiply if they can. But ke kunzima ngoba bafuna ukushada. Ngabe bayashada bathatha abafazi babanike lamatches eSundowns bazoba at least numbers of a double. But nonetheless, I think guys, okay, on a serious note, Sundowns guys for me, man. Hey, on the serious note, guys, I think Sundowns is going to be an unstoppable force. Sundowns guys are very, very, very good. Domestically, I think, on the cup side, I think they still have a lot to do. But on the league, I feel like Pirates Chiefs need to pick up their socks. Even about Super Sport, guys, let's not forget the Golden Arrows. But yeah, I think for me, if Sundowns guys can come maybe after 15 games, they are leading the league maybe with less than 10 points, I think it will be very good. Because then it will keep them aware. Okay, guys, we can come back and then maybe play a few games. We draw a few, then we'll be in trouble. But if they are going to still continue leading with more points and more points, more than 12, guys, come on, more than 12 points, that means they've already won 4 games. So we have to win 4 games in a row to cover that. So it will be a challenge. We still have to play against them next season. There's a lot at stake. But when it comes to African football, I will still state my mind, guys. I don't see any team stopping them. They have a very good winning mentality. As I said, Bakapa, They're enjoying their football. Their coach is, is a flamboyant guy. Let's be honest, guys. You need to give it to Rhulani. He's not, for me, I never thought he could get to this position. I will be honest enough. I never thought he can go to Africa and just showcase, South African coaches, they can be competitive. South African coaches, they can come with a team and dominate teams in their own home ground. But also, I feel like there's a lot of room that we need to also allow him to grow in. You look at that game, Matthias Galaxy, he made some few mistakes. He admitted to them, and that's a beautiful thing about him as well. He admits his mistake. I am a mistake, wabo. As most of them are saying, no, guys, he said he made mistakes, not we made mistakes. So he's coaching, he's the main guy. He accepts that he's the main guy. Let's give him his flowers. But my point of view is let's continue to make him suffer domestically, so that when he go to Africa, we'll always remember that he has competition in South Africa. Full stop.
No, thank you to you here when I was Oklahoma just now, but it's fine. Guys, look, what I always say is that the whole point of this platform is I want us to have better conversations about things. I want us to go deeper into things. I want us to speak. And for those who visit and come in every now and then, they see certain stuff. But we spoke about Jose Rivero this afternoon. Should we start asking questions of Jose Rivero? Should we start asking, oh my guy, how do you catch Sundowns? We start asking, is the league mandated to catch Sundowns? How do they do it? We have big conversations here, and that was the main thing, and yeah, things may get heated. People might get emotional. I get emotional about Kaizer Chiefs as much as everybody gets emotional. Other people get emotional about their teams. But the whole point of this platform is for us to have those conversations. And I want to have those conversations more and more, Rhulani said in one of his press conferences that you don't know tactics. So he basically said like media and people don't know tactics. And I'm of the idea that you need to open it up. I might know all the tactics in the world. I have video, what, and all of that stuff. But maybe somebody who doesn't share my view comes in and teaches me something. And that is the point of some of these conversations. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard for us to ask questions of Rhulani, especially when he's winning. Let's dissect what he's doing. It's hard to ask questions about Jose Rivero when he's got trophies in his pocket. It's hard to do these things, but let's do them, guys. Let's do them. Let's criticize. A lot of the time when you listen to conversations around football, especially local football, guys, the easy answer is to say Sundowns is unbeatable. The harder answer is to go, how do we beat Sundowns? You get what I mean? And I want us to go from those point of views where we are thinking critically about everything to do with our football, right? So let's try to do that. Theo, thank you so much for subscribing, for joining the membership on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys. It really does help to keep it up. 20 Rand, 60 Rand, 150 Rand. Those are the options. You can really support this. And Fridays are for subscribers and members on YouTube. I prefer YouTube because on TikTok, the split that we get from subscriptions is really bad. YouTube, at least, it's a lot higher. So if you do want to support the platform, the best way is to head on over to Facebook and join there. And we can carry on having these conversations for as long as we can keep this up. But thank you guys so much. So much for joining, so much for speaking, so much for being in the comments. I really do. You guys don't understand how much your support is amazing. The fact that people show up every day and we speak about these things. Thank you guys so much for showing me so much love. But yeah, Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. Monday to Wednesday, 8 p.m. I'll be here. We'll speak about it. We'll also do watch-alongs and do all of those things. So join. And we'll go from there and we'll have more of these conversations. And we'll put each other in our fields and do all of that stuff. But yeah, guys, so I'll see you tomorrow, 12:30. And we'll cook up something else to speak about and speak deeply about the stuff. For those who don't watch, generally, it's not just Rhulani. We've spoken about stadiums. We've spoken about the AFL. We've spoken about scouting. We've done so many really cool conversations, and all of them are available in full on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12:30.